I'm reviewing the movie Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie released in 2019, 1 year before the pandemic in 2020, and I don't know why I said that, but let's go. So, this movie is different from the first Tom Holland Spider-Man film in the line of the 3-movie series. So let's go through it. So, Far From Home, this means that basically Spider-Man, he's going on a class trip, okay? So he's in different parts of the world. Like the ending takes place in Berlin. But at one point before that, they're in like Italy or somewhere around there. So they're going all around the world. And Mysterio, well, he stages himself as this good guy, right? But nah. He actually has no skill. He just uses this AI tech that makes everything look, that basically it's an AI that will stage them. Like it will, like all these robots will project a giant image and him, so he can just pretty much just watch himself take down this threat, so everybody thinks he's a hero. Because his goal, he wants to be the next Iron Man, quote unquote, because he's a villain. So that's why I put quote unquote. But yeah, so before we talk about that, let's talk about our boy Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. He plays really well in this movie. I think he did this role better than he was in the Marvels. Actually, a lot better, in fact. But yeah, so he's pretty good. It's fun seeing him interact with Spider-Man and Ned. It's specifically Ned and Nick Fury, even though they don't get a lot of scenes where they get to talk together. They get a lot of scenes where they're together, but not where they get to talk together. But I really enjoy those scenes. Spider-Man's main suit in this is this suit right here. He really only wears his normal suit in the beginning and at the end. It's really split up. But we do get to see this suit a lot. Do I enjoy it? Yes. But am I glad they ended up changing it back to the normal suit at the end? Yes. Because it's good, and it did have some comedic purposes and other purposes, but I did enjoy it. Like nobody, like on this class trip, nobody expects Spider-Man to be out of country. So when there's a threat on their class trip, when they're in Europe, they're like, is that Spider-Man? And then like Ned's like, nah, that's like Ghost or like Ghost Monkey or something. So then they just think it's a different guy completely. And they're like scared. So it's like Spider-Man has to have a secret. So like Peter Parker's secret identity is Spider-Man. But now Spider-Man has to have a secret identity, which is whatever this is. So that's why I had to have a different uniform, which I understand why. I just like that. But yeah, so there's a little bit of a Mysterio, coincidence, I think. Not anyways. So Spider-Man's kind of looking up to Mysterio as this inspiration, this hero. But then Mysterio's like fooling this kid, like, haha, you fool. I am actually evil villain. And he deliberately says something along the lines of that he's willing to kill people to make himself look like a hero because he'll get more publicity from it. And at the end, he's literally watching the drones replicate a disaster, replicate a monster, and him fighting that monster inside this uniform when he's just like standing on a bridge, just like watching it. And he's like giving orders of what he wants to happen. And Spider-Man has to go in there and expose people for real because Nick Fury is like legitimately confused. He's like, what's going on? So then Spider-Man has to reveal this, and then things slowly fall into place for the final battle between Spider-Man and Mysterio. And nobody knows what's happening. Everything is a big illusion. And I think it's nice how we get to see Spider-Man really dealing with that. And since this is pretty much like right after, this is like after Endgame, we get to see Peter Parker's trauma with Tony Stark's death, pretty much his father figure, or I guess uncle figure, since he lives with his aunt. I think that's really interesting. Because so at one point Mysterio is posing an illusion onto Spider-Man, and it's so interesting how the world works. It's kind of like what they tried to do in Spider-Man No Way Home in Doctor Strange's little world, and Spider-Man had to outsmart him. That's kind of like what happened here, except I think here the visual effects weren't as good, or the special effects weren't as good, and also the way that they did it, and like it's a little bit grittier in this version of it. And like there's this scene where like everything is coming out of each other. By that I mean so Spider-Man's in one place, but then that one place converts into another place, and then eventually it turns into a snow. He's like in this snow globe, and then he's in this like snow globe, and then that snow globe turns into Mysterio's head, and then Mysterio takes off his head, and then he breaks the illusion, only for that breaking the illusion to be another illusion. Like, it's just really clever how they did it, and I really, really liked it. I think that is probably the highlight of the movie. I think that's really the highlight of the movie, and I think it's really interesting to see if the villain is good. I get what they wanted to go for, and I think he was really, really good. Do I think that they could have done more with him? Yes. I mean, like, what if at some point in the story, right, he actually did try taking on his powers, and that was the climax, and he died. That would be interesting. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to talk about this movie. There's a lot to go over. They tried giving it a new environment. I think it worked. Is it better than the first one? I think so. Is it better than Spider-Man No Way Home, the sequel to this? Hard to say. You'll have to figure it out when I review Spider-Man No Way Home. Anyways, guys, if you all enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.